First time. Well, great to see us all here. Wonderful. And thank you, Hasina, for preparing and opening up the Zoom. And Ellen is a very dear old friend and colleague also from Integral City and all kinds of other works. I don't know how long we met each other, I think in 2005 or 6 or something like that. And Ellen was writing me, what is going to happen in World Unity Week? Can we do something? So I said, well, you can welcome here. And because specifically today, I would like to share a little bit more about that as well. And however ways we can form. So I didn't have time to properly introduce her in the WhatsApp group. Sorry for that, but
no problem.
I'm happy you're here. So, exactly, you showed up. So thank you.
Lovely to meet you all.
Yes. Yes. So what we do, and I suggest we do now too, I usually just ring the bell 3 times so that we can all settle in, and then we do a little short check-in round where we also name our place where we are physically on our dear Gaia, which is also very much Ellen's practice, always reminding us about Gaia. And then we see what kinds of evolves out of the check-in or what we would like to speak about. And like I said, one thing I would like to share is about the World Unity Week. Okay, so I'll do it 3 times in creating our circle all around. Calling in from Vreeland and feeling gratitude for our circle. Thank you.
I'm Hasina, calling in from Newcastle, South Africa, and just being in the moment, playing with the spaciousness and the feeling that things need to get done, alternatively, sort of like the light and the dark, and just weaving in and out.
Juliet. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. Juliet calling in from County Cork, Ireland. Lots in my mind and head, and my heart is just open and spacious.
Cami calling in from Kefalonia in Greece. It's one of the Ionian Islands. And that moment with Juliet now just confirmed the connectedness that I'm feeling, that after a moment of silence, we both reached out at exactly the same moment. And it was a really nice moment of confirmation. Thank you, Juliet.
Iris from Vienna, Austria. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm in the flow somehow. Just watching life unfolding and being in awe about how it is unfolding.
I'm Ellen in Kokkingen, that's in the middle of the Netherlands. And really feeling at home, feeling the liveliness of my heart and belonging. You can't see it often. That's sometimes my disappointment. You know, I want to look in the mirror and say, okay, yes, she's radiating love, you know, she's this and that. But okay. Thank you for being here.
Kate. So shall I share something first for now, for this time? Yeah, is that a good moment? Because, you know, these calls, weekly calls, have come out of our coming together since COVID, actually, 2020 in Worlds, when we decided as a group of co-producers to develop an alternative for coming live together, trying that out on Zoom. And we focused on World Unity Week, naming that period in June around the summer solstice, and seeing that that could be a good moment to do ceremony all around the world, but also to really come together and to start to see how we could connect and co-create. And out of that then came a series of 4 seasonal convergences online. World Unity Week then in June, in September Peace Week around the International Day of Peace on the 21st of September that is celebrated. Then in December, on the equinox in the 21st of December that week, enlightening our way together. And then in the beginning, in March and in the beginning of the year, it's a little bit mixed up with the celebration around Martin Luther King and being beloved community. That's very much celebrated in the USA, but it's also a beautiful practice, so we also do that. And we've continued to be doing that, and some of you have been part of that, others have come and listened to the call in a different way. And we've said just to have this rhythm of weekly coming together with large group, small group, doesn't really matter, just keeping kind of like a rhythm, because we're trying to see how we can work with following the rhythms of nature. And I've been doing that, hosting those calls in the morning, and Ben Bowler has done that in the calls that are more available for the USA, the Americas, and Australia. Very different types of calls. There's a larger community that has been connected to Unity Earth, one of the initiators, for a long time already. They've traveled together. I joined the traveling in February 2020 for the first time. We built the Caravan of Unity together in the Americas and here in Europe. So we've been practicing how to come together and co-create and collaborate. And we were together now with the evolutionary leaders, Unity Earth people, Sign, which is this other gathering of like-minded and like-hearted souls, let's say, in Sedona in March, just after the solstice, the 23rd of March, also energetically, cosmically very important date, to come together to see if we could design or and sense into what we are calling the Holo movement. Inspired by David Bohm, seeing that that's kind of like the movement of movements. Now, there are many in the world conscious movements that are looking for how can we become some kind of an umbrella, can we come together more. The Holo movement is a vision that's been held by Emanuel Kunzelman that brought us together there for many, many years, inspired by David Bohm and the conversations there, and this notion of holons. And we are really dedicated to not build an organization, but to create the minimal context, the minimal structures for all these different holons to come together. And there are those that we already have identified and can attract, and they're going to be masses and many more. That's the idea. And holons, of course, can be our smallest entity and huge, and anything in between. So that's also kind of like the beauty of, I think, of it being called a Holo movement. And what we've now, as co-producers of those 4 sequential periods, and last year, inspired by Avon Madison, the initiator of the International Day of Peace in the 80s, who passed away. But before she passed away, she gave a message saying that, hey guys, it's great you're doing it. I'm phrasing it in my words. It's great that you're doing World Unity Week and Peace Week, but what about the time in between? How are we going to bridge? How are we not going to hop from event to event to event, but really move forward in these years that can support the shift and the change that we are looking for, in which the heart can be at the center, at the heart of everything that we do. So we started the 99 days of peace through unity last year, and now we want to really continue that and do that even on a deeper layer. And we're seeing that as a way to activate to support the activation of the Holo movement. So what we're and I have a little document that I will share in the chat in a minute. I can't do multitasking like that. So I'll just first share and then I'll send it to you. Is to actually call for us to come together in World Unity Week, in which we share and explore and experiment and find quests that in those 99 days we're going to manifest. And that can be small, that can be big, that can be online, that can be physically in a place where you are. It doesn't matter. It's up to everybody themselves. But to really say, hey, let's do this. Let's take this opportunity to really come to something to seed an intention, to take those days and to celebrate what we have then achieved in September in Peace Week, to then also seed the next steps, of course, to continue. And that's what we're committed to do as this next phase of our journey. And I would really love to dedicate this space, this room, in that context. I know before I went to Palenque and Sedona, we spoke about the bridging continents and how it's connected to that. Well, that of course is in this arc of what I'm talking about, and I would love us to see how we can now start to, or continue actually to connect to each other, to continue to prepare, to continue to find out what would serve us to take a next level of collaboration, and there is even, I think, a potential here for co-creation, but collaboration is for many already a big step, in a way that we can be, that we trust and intuitively perhaps feel, that we with the mind know can contribute to the flow towards peace through unity. And that's not strict. It doesn't matter. For me, joy, feeling the life force, doing something together that serves all life is already beautiful enough, actually. And for some, and sometimes it's helpful to make it a little bit perhaps more precise. So the theme for World Unity Week is also New Earth Rising. So that also has to do with this coming into this other form, to really standing for what we stand for, in having the center of our being in resting in the heart, and then continuing in those 99 days. And next week will be an assembly, but that will be at 11 o'clock CET, so a little bit earlier. Usually the calls are at midnight. Now they're going to do it at 11. It's still very late, especially for South Africa. I don't know exactly the timing in Greece, but anyway, it will be recorded as well, where we will also be sharing and launching this this invitation. And yeah, if you will agree, I would love us to really be focusing on this in these calls, and calling for more people to come together to see how we can connect with each other, practice, play, and see what wants to arise, and how we can support ourselves and each other to do something like this. And I'll stop here. Thank you for listening.
I think Hasina knows a lot about what I'm about to discuss, but for the rest of you, I spent a lot of time in South Africa working actively towards projects like, I worked with Hasina and Bubbles Beyond Borders. Sorry, I was missing the middle word there.
Bubbles Beyond Borders. Beautiful.
Yeah, I did a few events in Johannesburg around that. And of course, growing up in apartheid South Africa, there was always a cause or a purpose to support towards freedom in that sense. And then as I got older, I worked with survivors of sexual violence, and I've always had a cause that felt, or a purpose that felt larger than myself. And since I've been in Greece, the contrast between that feeling of needing to change the world and being in a space where I can just be has been what I've been assimilating for the last, especially the last 6 or 8 months that we've been on this island. There isn't a sense of needing to work in the world anymore. And I've been struggling with that quite significantly, because it feels like everything is as it should be, and that I no longer need to do any of those things. So I would love to offer my support to anybody on any of the projects that you're working on in whatever capacity I can. I just don't feel at this stage of my life that I even know what I could start to do differently at this point to change things from where I am right now.
Thank you for sharing. Sounds like great. Yes. Maybe we can just do a little round. Maybe we can, before we dive into anything deeper, we can just do a first little round. Thank you, Camilla, for sharing that.
Yeah, I'd be very excited to help out. I feel like I've been kind of, I've had a sabbatical
Mhm.
from doing for a while to prepare myself in the being. I'm very privileged, and I feel now that, yeah, it's time to start doing again. So I would love to be involved. Thank you.
Yeah, I've been getting a calling in recent months, especially that you know, it's always been the new age is coming, like peace and unity, and those are some of the messages I've got from the Akashic records. But right now, I have been feeling like it's here, like it's here. There's no more preparation. Like step up, we're stepping into it, and all of us who are in spaces like this are leading the way. And it's not that they're people who not leading, they're just people who aren't awakened or who aren't aware. And just we get to lead the way, and we get to give other people permission for that freedom, for that liberation, and to question, you know, so that they're not in little boxes anymore. Because I think all of us were in a box of some kind, and so we get to step out now and just live our deepest truth. So I'm very excited about collaborating, co-creating, all of that, especially with World Unity Week, but with a number of other things. And yes, would love to go deeper on what everyone's doing, what we're all doing, so to see how we can fit together like puzzle pieces.
I can go. For me, it's thank you, first of all, that you explained the whole movement and how it developed, because this was exactly what I wanted to ask, but you answered it before I could ask, so it's really great. And for me, it's, as I said already, I'm just in awe how everything unfolds, because I asked some time ago to the universe somehow, how can I serve? How can I, and please show me concrete possibilities, because I don't know. And now I'm here, and everything is so unfolding. So I'm very open and ready. And I even have some ideas in the background. So it's great. Thank you for the possibility.
Thank you, Iris.
This is so good to hear from all of you. I have been, let us say, my work has been aligned with this whole trajectory since the life maps, the instrument I work with, the first workshop saw the light in 2020. And in 21, I didn't participate as such, but I wanted to develop something around peace. So I developed a scenario, a story that you can play through around peace. And then we worked with a little group, and everybody, including myself, said, okay, wow, what is happening here? We are seeing what we want to do. You know, we are feeling that we are doing this as a whole human being, so to say. Real life, the sense of this is what we are doing now. And last year, or more this year, I developed a scenario about manifesting a life that is grounded in unity. And I now did it on purpose. So I found that I was so much aligned with this whole trajectory, and unity, oneness in my words is that's in my structure, or as a mini being. It's there, it's always there. And I encountered the energy of peace in a meditation a couple of years ago. And since then, peace has guided me. And so I thought, okay, this year I want to be there more visible, and also, and that's sounds maybe a little bit strange, because you're talking about the Holo movement, Anne-Marie. For me, this is a time of precision, and a precision next to complementarity. So, because we are with more and more people, and I'm practicing, and I'm how do you say it? I'm learning myself to trust in myself in this precision. Mm-hmm. And so, because I'm not to reach out too much, but just this is okay, and to also to trust in others, and even in whole humanity, which is a little bit of a feeble trust still. To be able to come together in this complementarity, where everybody has his or her role, and we can rest more to know that the others are doing other things, so that you can rest and relax in the whole. Did I answer anything? Sorry.
You don't need to answer anything.
Oh, okay.
You just share what comes for you. This is a emerging conversation, so just responding to the call I was making.
Anne-Marie, can I suggest something?
Yes.
Whether it's in this call or in the next call, it would be so great to just know what each person, if there's anything that they are doing, like Ellen was talking about her peace week, her peace work, sorry. And just, being present with what people are doing in a bit of a deeper way. And that way we know what each person is doing, and if an idea suddenly comes to mind about co-creation and collaboration, we could be with that. So that's the one thing. And then the second thing is the Holo movement. Yes, I went into the website, and it was quite awesome. I wasn't in depth, but I got an overview and I signed up for it. So I haven't heard anything. I don't know if they're sending out emails yet, but I certainly would like to bring who I am and what I do to the Holo movement, and see how I can sort of contribute. Yeah, that's something very important. And the third thing I want to suggest before I stop talking, well, it's not a suggestion, it's a request. We have such a beautiful group here, and I was wondering if next week I may do an Akashic Records reading for just 5 minutes and see what comes for our collective as a group. Okay, thank you.
Yes, wonderful, wonderful. And please, I just want to make clear that there's no need I mean, yes, we need to, of course, agree with each other what we want to talk about, but please don't feel you need any permission. It's just about suggesting and seeing if we all want it. So, yeah. I feel this is a co-creative space already that we can really be holding. And yes, I am holding, of course, the seed, and I'm holding the connection to the larger context. And I will continue to do that. But I already really appreciate, Hasina, how you are stepping in already. You are doing that by hosting and by, you know, making sure we all know this, those small things that are actually helping to us to be taking care of the space that we're here in, acknowledging that this is a sacred space, taking care of each other. And I was doing that, but I really appreciate that you're also stepping into that, and that we can see how we can also, yeah, do that in different ways, and just continue to work on that. And I also would love to, I think it's a great idea to tap more into who are we actually, also as, you know, if we're with a group of 80, it's very different to do that. We might need other ways of doing it, but we're now in a smaller group. The more we do that, you know, I follow the strategy of what I call the, I don't know if I've ever shared that, of the, I've lost its name. What's it called? Nautilus, the Nautilus shell. Yeah, the Nautilus shell. So I heard, and Ellen, correct me if I'm sharing it wrongly because you're a biologist, but I heard once in the 80s or 90s, a specialist speak about this, a biologist, and the question was, how is it possible that such a thin shell in which it's housed can stand so much pressure because it lives deep in the ocean? And what he was sharing then was that the Nautilus really starts in the center and first builds its first chamber and makes sure that there's a coherence and a precision there. And when that's ready, then it goes to the next, and then it goes to the next. And what they found out is when the precision is not here or here, then at a certain point, the whole thing collapses. So the more dedication is given to the precision, and that doesn't mean, of course, dedication in time, you know, we know that. But the more precision and dedication there is to the precision, the more it's able to hold that huge tension. And somehow from immediately I got this sense of, oh, I'm going to use that for my social architecture. And I thought, oh, so I just need to really, it was giving myself permission, let's say, because I have this need to first connect with the people, the close people I'm working with. And if that connection is safe and good, and we can trust each other, and I can specifically trust that I will receive feedback from you if that's needed. So that's part of the trust that I'm looking for, that I can trust that, you know, like, I'm sorry I'm taking you as an example all the time, Ellen, but it's just easy. I know that if I do something that she feels, that's off, that's not, I don't recognize you in that way. Why are you doing that? That she will ask me first, and she will give me that feedback. I just know she'll do that. We've built that trust. And that for me gives us a sense of safety. So I'm also asking that of all of you. Please feel free to ask me why I'm doing something before you judge or push me out or do it, whatever. Yeah, I need to know that I can just get that feedback, because it helps our relationship. It helps me to grow. It helps us to grow. And I don't need to worry because I know you will be asking me. So that is how I translated this. And so in our teams that in the Hague Center that we build, we really pay attention to first come together in a smaller group, and then to expand. And then, of course, to revisit again and again and again. So that's what we call the Nautilus strategy. And I don't know anymore why I was sharing this. Oh, yes, because I'm expecting we are going to be expanding. So if we do what you're saying, Hasina, let us be informed by the Akashic records. I am excited. Great, lovely way. But also let us share more about our life purpose or what we're looking for, like you already started to do a little bit, Camilla, so that we know how we can call on each other and be invited and to share. If we start with this, when when the field grows, we'll find other ways to do it playfully. And that would really serve, I think, the whole way of being in whatever we are going to be doing.
Thanks very much, Anne. That's a wonderful way for us to start. I mean, we've started a while ago, but I think having those words was yeah, wonderful. Thank you very much. Very supportive. I just wanted to also mention, you sent around one of Otto Sharma's his video, which I took that course quite a few years ago through MIT. They were offering it free, the ULab, and I think his work is fantastic, really wonderful. And just one other thing, I've just been recently listening to Ubiquity University's Jim Garrison has been hosting a thing called Humanity Rising and Creativity Rising. It seems the time of the rising, New Earth Rising is the thing for our next one. And there's just so many wonderful things happening right now on the planet in that genre. So thank you.
Yes. I could, that article of Otto Scharmer about his journey in Latin America really touched me because I recognized a lot of the teachings, if we could call it like that, that he was giving from his experience of what we went through in our journey from Salzburg to Palenque to Sedona to LA. So there are quite a few, and I'm working on a little piece around that I can really see, that I can confirm having that same kind of experience and how that is supporting us actually to grow in these times.
That's with artificial intelligence.
Also what he writes about that, but also the other parts that he's writing about, how he has observed and the ULab process. We use the ULab process, the U as well a lot. He does the social theater work. We use systemic constellation. It's the same kind of way of 4D mapping. So in that sense, there is, I've been using his way of working. We've been using that here in the Netherlands from when he started to bring that out into the world, and we've added spiral dynamics to it to design it in different ways. So yeah, he'll be coming for dinner here on Monday. Yes. So I will continue the conversation with him. Yeah. I'm wondering how we can do that sharing of our life work in a way that it can also at the same time be, I don't know if that's needed, but I was thinking maybe there's something around that we can also do in the Mighty Network. But maybe I first need to ask. I don't know exactly how what I've understood is that the whole setup of the Mighty Network in relation to World Unity Week is going to go through a little bit of a revision. So maybe I first need to ask that to the team, because I can imagine that whilst we're doing that with each other, an important part of World Unity Week and Sign is to make ourselves visible into the world, so that not only here we can know when we can call on each other, but also in the World Unity Week larger community, and now in the Holo movement community. And we use Weaver and Trello and Mighty Network and all these kind of ways. So we're still in the process of seeing what would serve and what would be the most simplest form to do that. And so maybe we just start and then we can see what comes up in that context. Or maybe somebody has a nice idea, and yeah. I don't know if you had any other sense already, Hasina, if you'd already given it some other thoughts.
No, I didn't have any particular format thoughts about it. Maybe if we could just start and, just talk about it, and if anyone wants to put the links down. Okay, so on that note, what's tied to it is that last week's recording, I wanted to put it up somewhere. My Google Drive is getting full. So I had thought to put it on YouTube, and then I already used my number for 2 YouTube channels. So I thought, oh, okay, and it didn't work. I would like to put it somewhere. So if you have any ideas for that, what I can do actually.
Can't we put that in Mighty Network?
Is that a platform you can upload like a recording? Okay, I'll check it out. But for the chat, if we put our links in the chat, I can email everyone the chat of the Zoom. So we can talk here and then have all the links if we want to contact one of us or collaborate or something.
Yeah, we can also put those links in the WhatsApp, yeah?
Yeah,
because that doesn't disappear, because this disappears and the WhatsApp just stays.
And can't you give the link in the WhatsApp group for the recording?
Yeah, but she wants to get it off her drive.
No, I'm fine. It's not on my drive. It's just recorded as Zoom on my computer. My computer's fine. It's not full. But I need to give everyone access. So if we wanted to listen to last week's artificial intelligence conversation, we could do it, or any of our friends.
Yeah.
So I'm just,
Yeah. So that's another question. So there are a few questions we're already collecting for the team.
Because I'm also hosting the meetings, our evening meetings with Juliet, from this group from Barbara Max Hubbard.
Yeah.
And I'm always recording it not on my computer, but in the cloud. Yeah. And I'm sending then the link to everybody. And after a while, either they can download it if it's interesting for them, and then I have to delete it after 1 or 2 weeks, because in the cloud you only have a certain amount of space, so you cannot let all the recordings stay there. And this works fine, I think. So.
Okay. That's something that we can definitely think about, because I didn't think about it like that. My cloud is also full, so I can, delete, and then I still have a copy of the recording on my computer. No, but if I record to the cloud.
No, because that's my problem. My cloud is full. I need to do that, and I'm doing it, but it's a lot of homework to check out. I didn't think about it beforehand properly, so we have so many recordings that
Let me see if I can take my if I can make a BridgingContinents channel on YouTube, and I can just ask Shamima, my sister, and say, can I use your number quickly to verify it? Let me see if that works. Then at least we'll have somewhere to just put it. Yeah.
Yeah, let's check also with Mighty Network and how we're doing it in that context, because that would be a good way to let it all come together.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit more about Mighty Network. How does that work? What is it?
It's a social media platform that's years ago, I think you used to get something called Ning or something. Yes.
Ning. Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, it kind of changed its name. So you can have a Mighty Networks platform, and I think the organizers would pay however much per month. And so one has been created for, I don't know what it's called even. Anna Marie, help me out. What is it called? What is our
Peace Through Unity, I think it's called. So
Yeah,
we set up the Mighty Network pages in order to keep track of the 99 days. That's when we started to use it. So last year, because we started to have not only the themes of World Unity Week, but then we had a theme of the day for all those 99 days. And that's when we set up an account in Mighty Network. It's a platform indeed, in which up till now, of all these different platforms, it is felt that the founders are most resonant with our ambition to have as much as possible a simple decentralized structure. So that's why this platform was chosen and is chosen. In Living Cities Earth, we use Trello. We put all the recordings. I'm just thinking we put all the recordings in Trello, actually. That's where we collect them there. Yeah, but anyway, I'm not very good in finding my way in. I have been able to find my way in Trello, but not so much in Mighty Network. So that's more Hasina and Juliet have been doing that. There is also a call for our meeting. We have to change that, don't we? Because now it's telling us that we're having the call on Wednesday as we used to have, so we need to change it. So I'll ask a few of these questions, and maybe I'll ask them also to share with you, Hasina.
I just posted the Peace Through Unity Mighty Networks link for you, Cami. It's in the, yeah, it's
In the
in
WhatsApp.
the
In the WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll look for it on my phone later.
Okay.
And I'll quickly, if I can quickly just say something, Juliet, I just want to thank you again for doing that Bridging Continents thing. I read through it and I hadn't replied to it. We've had such a crazy week with the electricity cuts, and we had no water for 2 days. And
Oh, wow.
so I do want to recognize that it means so much, but I haven't replied to you yet, and I think it's brilliant.
Okay, so this is a little bit of a very pragmatic oriented meeting in that sense. But I think if we can build a little bit more on this, I'll also put that little document about the Holo movement that I was just sharing, so that we can see how we can then organize ourselves in a way that it is easy to flow. And I'll also ask these questions for the organization. And I can imagine perhaps also, Ellen, that at a certain point we might spend some time on playing one of the life maps, the one that you're imagining that could serve.
Yeah, yes, of course. And they're just there next to everything.
Yes, of course.
So
but you can tell about it, you can share about it, or we can do it. That's kind of like what I
absolutely. You can go do it on. Yeah. I'll make the materials available. So yeah. when this comes up naturally, and because then this is such an immersive process that it tends to you tend to pay a lot of attention to that. And I think that when I'm listening to all of you, is that you need this free space for the bigger scale, so to say. And while with the life maps, we go deep and wide in the sense of wide from the personal perspective. So that's so let's see, whenever something comes up that is natural and that would bring something in,
Yeah.
and fits in what all of you are wanting to contribute to.
Do you need anything for the Akashic Records reading, Hasina?
No, not at all. We just come as we are.
Great, good. Okay. It's 11:22 here. Nice timing.
May I say, I have to
Yes.
go on time because I have an appointment then. So
Yes. So I was wanting to suggest that we do a little checkout round, and that we follow up for the rest in the WhatsApp. And Ellen, you can see whether you want to join the WhatsApp or whether you want to stay informed in a different way.
I think it would be very, very practical and make it easy when I would be part.
Yeah. So is there a link, Hasina, that she can choose herself, or do we need to put I think we can create a link that she can add herself, huh?
Yes, I think there is a link here. Just give me a second.
Yeah. And yeah, please feel free to invite other people that you feel would be resonant. And maybe, having read that document, that also makes it more concrete. And for now,
Anne-Marie, can I put okay, so Ellen, I don't have your number, but I can.
If you put the link here in the chat, then she can just click on it herself and add herself, yeah? So then you don't have to do all that kind of complicated things.
Second.
Let's make it easy.
The document you were referring to, Anne-Marie, is that on the Holo movement website?
No, I'm going to send it to you, but I need to I need to figure out how I do that because it's a PDF, and then I thought I could easily do it, and then I got stuck already. So I just need to concentrate. I can't do it at the same time.
You can do WhatsApp web on your computer, and you can.
I have it on my computer, okay. But then it has to find it somewhere, and I got lost.
Yeah. I'm just quickly sending the link to my messengers so that I can copy it off there and put it on this chat, because it doesn't seem to be available via my computer. Just give me 1 second.
And maybe we can then have a checkout round about what have I become aware of, or how do I leave this meeting? Just a few words, one or a little sentence. Do popcorn. Is it working, Hasina? Otherwise, I'll do it later with Ellen.
I'm trying to make it.
Leave it. I'll do it later. I'll do it.
Okay.
Don't worry.
May I ask you, Hasina, that you inform us where you can put the recording? Because I think if it's okay for you, I think it would also be very helpful if, for instance, Gita could watch it. Yes, because you so beautifully explained all the connections. Okay. So,
sure.
Yeah. Okay, give me a day and I'll have it sorted out.
Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you. So let's take a few breaths of silence and then just do the popcorn checkout.
Well, I'm feeling quite excited about the thought of collaborating and or co-creating possibly something together through the hologram or through the Peace Through Unity. Thank you. That's exciting thought.
I became aware that I get answers without asking.
I think my awareness is just expanding to what we're going to co-create together, and just how this is the origin point. I'm very aware of that, and it's very sacred.
I'm becoming aware that purpose is constantly expanding, and that there is no time when we lack purpose. There may be a growing point that prepares us for the next step in manifesting that purpose, but there's never really a time when it's lacking or when it goes away. And that's something I need to look at a little bit more in the next week.
Yes, I feel grateful. What I am becoming aware, that is not clear yet. I have sensed and felt a lot, and that's my way of aligning with all of you. So that is 6 worlds I'm seeing before me, and it will cost me a couple of days to get, so to say, messages out of it. But thank you for being here.
I feel the power of the fact of how we are cohering together, which is yeah, wonderful practice, and I'm curious of where it will bring us, but I already feel, yeah, I felt that already, but it's just deep. It's just like we're confirming, and I really, I already said it, Camilla, but I'm so enjoying that I can really see you, because before it was kind of like a dark place because of the lighting. So thank you so much for arranging that, so that we can also, yeah, really look into each other's eyes, because that's the big gift I feel Zoom gives us, that we can look in each other's eyes without feeling like sitting opposite each other. So thank you.
I will remember that this is a good position for my computer to
yes.
be in.
Yes.
Because
So
I always want to have a blank wall behind me. So I always sit on the other side.
Oh, yeah, no, but
so that you're not looking at my kitchen cupboards behind me.
We're not looking at that. We're looking at your face. So thank you for all sharing your eyes and letting me look into them. And see you on WhatsApp. See you next time.
Elena, I put the link there. If you click from your phone, maybe, or your computer.
Thank you very much. I have to go.
Off you go. Off you go.
Okay. Bye.
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 Thank you.